Minette, what can I say to you about the franchising world? In the franchising world, as you know, it is criminal to underpay people. Franchisors enjoy a similar relationship to employers under the legislation, but we've got this fantastic new Baker's Delight case that has come out, and Sean McElwain is the judge in the federal court. And the case is interesting because as a point of law, it was elevated to the federal court, the full federal court, to look at what is this presumption of responsibility. And in Baker's Delight, this was a franchisor which had 3 franchisees beneath it, which were Baker's Delights. And there was an underpayment of something in the vicinity of $600,000 or something like that. Is that correct?
It was 1.25 million, but then Baker's Delight would have been responsible for half of that.
Yeah, and the franchisors became insolvent and they were wound up, but they would have been responsible for the others. But the question is the franchisor, that is the person who owned the effective licence for these 3 Baker's Delight stores, who had to act in accordance with their direction, could they be liable with the same presumptions about their knowledge and responsibility as the franchisee? And unquestionably, what the full federal court said is, yes, they are. And in franchise land, that's pretty scary, really, because what that means is, as a franchisor, you have a level of control that sits under the franchising code of the quality of the product, the manner in which you run the business. But it means you must have an auditable process that you can assess from time to time. You must have strict rules around what is lawful payment, because the criminality that sits there can also lead to individual liability, which can lead to jail. So this case is probably one of the real turning points from franchise. Remember, franchising law created criminal wage theft through the 7-Eleven cases. So it changed the law. But here we're seeing a case reflecting on the intention and saying, no, a franchisor will be criminally liable for underpayments, and there are things that they can do. So when we talked about what they can do audits. What are the other types of things that franchisors could do?
They can strengthen compliance systems.
Yep.
Whether they, I don't know if this is possible, have more insight into the record keeping and actually access
no, they
those.
can. They can interrogate. And if you look at, I've acted for franchisors and franchisees, they set up the bookkeeping method that the franchisee is obliged to do. They would normally have access to it because they take a percentage of gross earnings or net earnings, depending on the rule. So what this says is, you set up this arm's length business as a franchisee. You set up the systems that sit behind it. You can't ignore your knowledge of what will happen, because that franchisee, to make money, given their limited capacity to make money, and you're going to take some of that money off the table, the only way they can make more money is what? It's actually pay people less. So it is a system that leverages underpayment, and that's why franchisors will be liable. So fascinating case. And look, for the franchisors and franchisees out there, we're going to send out a newsletter on that for you so you know about it. But I thought we'd talk about it now because the obligations of a franchisor are, of course, exactly the same as the obligations of an employer.